Here we are, and we're so excited to be here with you. Again, thanks for making the time. We know financial advisors have a lot on their plates. You could be doing anything else right this hour, but you're choosing to be here with us, which means you're motivated, you want to learn, and you want to grow. And those are the exact type of advisors we love getting to work with. I'll start by just laying some foundation. Why are we here today? If you saw the marketing for this session, we're here to talk about the reality of your next client already being online, already searching for a financial advisor, and the disconnect that we've seen in the space between how websites today, advisor websites, are currently serving these prospective clients and what they're doing for them and what they're not doing for them. The second part is also once you get a prospect in the door, which we're going to show you how to do that today with AI. And I promise you, it's nothing like you've ever seen before. We're also going to talk about the meeting side. When you get a prospect into that first meeting and hopefully move them into that second meeting, what are some of the behaviors that we're seeing through conversational intelligence to be able to successfully move prospects from that first meeting to that second meeting? My name is Diana Cabrices. I'm the chief evangelist at Jump. I've been in the industry for about 10 years now, serving advisors from the technology side. So my passion is technology, but also marketing and growth. And to me, I love to look at what's the best tech out there, what is the most effective technology out there for the price that you're getting it, for the time that you have to put in it. That's truly my passion. So joined the team at Jump about 4 months ago at this point, and I've learned a lot, and I love what's happening with AI. I'm joined by David DeSell and Mike Barrasso, and both David and Mike are joining us from Wealth Reach. So David and Mike co-founded Wealth Reach, and that's what you're going to see today. You're going to see a lot of Wealth Reach. We're going to see a little bit of Jump as well, and they're going to share some really interesting data with you. David and Mike, thank you for being here. Maybe you could both jump in and share a little bit more about your background. What gets you excited about being here today?
Yeah, David, go
Happy
ahead.
to. Yeah, so first of all, my one of my goals for today is to be able to match your energy because it is in fact infectious. So I always appreciated that about you. And for everyone joining today, appreciate your time and attention. Really just briefly, I was an advisor for 7 years. I've been in consulting for the last 8 years, working with a whole host of advisors from new folks in the business all the way up to the 50, $100 billion RIAs and helping with solving organic growth, which arguably is one of the biggest problems in this industry. On average, it's sitting between 2 and 3% when you strip out, additional wallet share, you strip out market growth. And that's what I'm incredibly passionate about is helping you all frankly help more people because your business does not have an opportunity to grow until you're first helpful to someone else. And we have to be helpful to you first before you have that opportunity and before we have that opportunity to grow our business. So that's what I'm super passionate about. And Mike came to me with an idea a while back that has since turned into Wealth Reach, and we're excited to share it with you today.
Awesome. Yeah, and hey, everybody. First of all, Jump Team, Diana, thanks so much for having us. Really excited to be here today. Everybody in the audience, thank you all for taking the time as well. My name is Mike Barrasso. I'm the co-founder and CEO at Wealth Reach. Originally started my career in software sales, started as just a cold prospector, trying to set meetings, basically. Worked my way up at a couple different startups all the way up to managing growth and sales teams at a much larger startup. Joined the family RIA about 3 years ago now. When I joined the firm, we were at around 180 million under management. We're a little over 400 million now, and we've grown all organically. So my job the last 3, almost 4 years now, has been exclusively growth. That's where I met David, who is actually coaching me, and that's where this idea was born.
Wonderful. Well, I'm glad the idea was born because it means we're here today to be able to showcase all of it. Congratulations, you two, on taking this idea and really building something useful out of it for the industry. Super exciting. So let's go to the next slide because I'd like to just quickly cover what is the agenda for today. It's really simple. I've kind of already highlighted it, but we've had a few people join us since then. 4 parts here. The first is we're really going to lay out what we're seeing, right? The landscape and maybe some challenges that we're seeing with advisor websites today. And this is important because AI has completely changed the way that prospects engage with websites or even click on websites, or maybe don't click on your website. There's so much going on. So we'll talk to you about that. Then we're going to showcase Wealth Reach. So all the different areas and features within Wealth Reach to solve these huge website challenges that we're seeing. Again, now even accelerated with AI, that the challenges have become bigger, the problems have become bigger. Then we're going to move into the meeting intelligence layer. So the moment you get that prospect, you've optimized the website, you're using AI, really the human side starts to shine here. So what are you doing about that? What are your behaviors? And I'm going to show you some really cool data. We actually just released a brand new prospecting playbook. If you use Jump, especially if you use the Grow feature in Jump, the Grow product, you'll see this playbook directly in your account. And I'll point that out to you as well. And then a live Q&A. So again, if you've just joined us, unfortunately, our chat box is disabled. I'm sorry about that, but you can use the Q&A feature to drop any questions, comments, concerns that you have along the way. We'll keep our eye on that as well, but we'll definitely have a live Q&A at the end. All right, let's maybe start with that first part, right? That the problem that you guys are seeing with websites today, David and Mike, the reason that you built Wealth Reach. Let's lay some foundation for the audience.
Yes, let me start, Mike, and I'll kick it over to you. And Diana will probably have Mike talk through the next three slides. For supporting materials so people can see. But Mike, just do your thing. But I'll start and be, I guess, a little provocative to begin. I think that the majority of the advisors on this call, never mind the industry in general, have been lied to and have been brought through a complete disservice of what a website could be. I think that the majority of websites, because we've audited over 30,000 of them in this industry, and they lack the basic foundational aspects to even have a chance of ranking and being discovered. The legacy providers in the industry, the legacy agencies, they may spin around a website quickly. They may spin around a beautiful website, but you're in effect invisible online. It's like having a billboard in the middle of a desert with no roads that lead to it. And that's the problem that we are looking to solve as a piece of the organic growth platform that we have. And as Mike goes through the story of the different products that we have inside of Wealth Reach, you'll notice that each one builds off of the other. We weren't looking to solve a singular problem, but rather the entire thing. But our realization in auditing 30,000 websites is that it has to start with that for you to even have a chance. And unless someone is searching your firm directly, we found that you're invisible. And when you get the website right, it's no longer a billboard. It becomes an asset for your firm that quality folks actually discover, actually book appointments, and it can be an amazing growth channel for you if it's done correctly. So, Mike, take it from here, help share the story. And then we'll, after the few slides, Diana, Michael will share his screen to just go through a quick demo so they have a visual representation.
Perfect.
Yeah, and David hit on this. We always start with an audit. So we're over 30,000 audits now on the sites that we've done. So basically, we've identified basically two options that advisors have today. They either have the legacy providers, and you probably know who I'm talking about. The sites are very templated. Pretty much every site looks like the one down the street. And then we have the other option for firms today is marketing firms, going with firms that build really beautiful, expensive websites, 20, 30, 40, 50 grand even. But those have their problems as well. The problems that both of these share in terms of the technical foundation is that most of them are missing the full foundation itself. So they're missing things like basic header structure, schema markup. A lot of them have duplicate and missing meta descriptions. When I look at this stuff and when I see this stuff missing, I look at it as missing basic SEO 101. A lot of these companies, marketing firms, legacy providers will go and say things like, hey, our sites are SEO optimized. We have these cool SEO tools that put out content. But at the end of the day, if you don't have that foundation for your site, you're never going to rank. One of the things and why this was always interesting to me was first thing we did when I joined my firm United was we completely overhauled the site. We were using a templated provider. We were getting probably 100 website visitors a month at the most. We were lucky if a prospect ever just found us organically and booked a meeting. That was like a once every couple months type of thing. So back in the day, and wasn't really that long ago, but technology has moved so fast. It was a big project for me, and David remembers this. It probably took me 6, 7 months to rebuild that website from scratch, get it dialed in from an SEO perspective, but also from a content perspective, making sure that we're speaking to who our ideal client is, the problems they have, and answering those things. So that was a big, big priority for us. When we did that, we actually started getting leads from Google. People were actually finding us online. It turned into never getting leads from Google all the way up to we were getting about 4 to 5 meetings a month from Google, which is pretty fantastic. Technology has come a long way since then. And I think a big priority for us at WealthReach has always been how can we solve this problem? But the technology wasn't there when we first started the company. It has since come to that point, and we figured out a way to solve the problem. So, Diana, if you want to kick it to the next slide.
Yeah, and I just want to make one quick point here. Like
Yeah.
what you mentioned, that a lot of like templated websites that advisors get from these legacy providers, or they're going through a big agency, they're paying a lot of money, but it's like a one-time project and there's no ongoing optimization. These features, the schema markup, right? The content that's constantly changing, when Mike says this is good for SEO, I also want advisors to understand this is also good for what we call AI SEO. And that is essentially these LLMs like ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude or Perplexity. People more than ever, about 25% of affluent American households are using these tools already to find financial advisors. And so when you have a system, a website that is constantly optimizing itself for SEO and AI SEO, you're also increasing your chances of getting found through those platforms. Even if they never even, really dig deep into your website, they've had a full conversation, a funnel conversation, if you will, with these tools. And because your site is AI SEO optimized, then you will pop up in these conversations, right? You'll be mentioned, you'll be recommended in these conversations. It's not just Google anymore. It's beyond just Google. So I wanted to make that point because this entire webinar is based on AI. It's AI from optimizing your website and getting found. It's AI from using AI as a meeting tool and then taking that intelligence and applying it back into your meetings to be a better advisor and get better outcomes. There's truly a link here. So sorry, Mike, didn't mean to interrupt you, but I really wanted to
No,
just make that clear for everyone.
no, you made a great point, and I think it leads me into what I was going to talk about anyway. What we're seeing at my firm and with our clients as well is that leads that are coming from AI are actually way more qualified than most sources. A lot of them are pre-sold on you. A lot of them have this inherent trust with the AI. I don't know where that comes from, but when the AI tells them, "Hey, this is a great firm. I did all of this research," they're coming almost pre-sold to you. So the quality of those AI, those people finding you on AI, extremely high. Moving into living sites and our fix for what this big problem is in the industry. So these sites, a lot of them are obviously templated and they look the same as the website down the street and have the same verbiage, words, etc. Or you have those marketing firm websites that are beautiful but don't have any of the foundations. What we're able to do at WealthReach is two things. One, we could either clone your existing site. So if you went and you spent a bunch of money and you love the look of your website, we could clone it one to one, but we could get that complete foundation built, and it takes around 2 to 3 weeks. From there, you have the full SEO foundation and the AEO foundation, so your site is actually built to rank from there. The other option that we could do is we build completely custom websites. So starts with that SEO foundation from the ground up, and then we work through building hundreds of different landing pages that are targeting your specific location, your specific area. So now we're getting people in your area that are searching for a financial advisor. With that is something I mentioned too. The copy is super, super important. So who is your ideal client? Even if you're not niche down too much, but who are the people you're trying to serve and having pages targeting those specific people, the problems they have, and then speaking to how you solve them. That is the type of content that actually gets you ranked on AI. AI looks for content like that. It doesn't look for cookie cutter content that you could find on a bunch of other websites. One of the other things you'll notice here is that on the back end of our websites, you could either go in, talk to a chatbot and tell it to update whatever you'd like on the site, or you could come to our team. Our sites are fully managed. So if you need an update, you want us to add content to the site, or say a video or something like that, make any update at all, you could come to our team and we have unlimited support for that. We could kick it to the next slide, Diana.
I want to highlight something
Yeah,
you
do it.
just said because I think this is where I was most impressed when I learned about WealthReach is the chatbot. The fact that you can talk to an AI chatbot and say, "Hey, make this update to my website," is huge, guys. This has never been done before. So I just want to highlight that that is a very impactful feature. And if you're trying to save time, but also keep up and have new fresh content on your site, which you should work on every few months. It's important for these algorithms. You have a really easy way to do it here. Love that.
Well, and two things on that, like so you have a team member, right, that joins the firm, just drag and drop their headshot, a couple bullet points about them. It'll write the copy for their bio to be aligned with everyone else's bio, show you the preview, you click publish. That's a 5 minute exercise, if not less, as opposed to a support ticket and waiting a couple days, couple weeks, or having to go on the back end of WordPress. And then one thing, as we go to the next slide, you said, Diana, you should be refreshing your content every few months. We're going to share with you now how you can refresh your content every single day.
Yep.
I mean,
That leads in perfectly.
love
So
it.
Attract is our SEO and content agent. So Attract plugs into existing websites, so it could plug into a site you already have, or it could plug into our living sites, which give it a lot more functionality and what it's actually able to update. The way I look at Attract is as an SEO and marketing agency built right into your website. Every single day, our AI SEO agent is going to go and run an audit on your site. It's going to look at a lot of different things, but a couple of them are going to be one, where are you ranking today? Where are your competitors ranking? What should you be ranking for that you're not ranking for? Are you popping up in ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, etc.? What keywords should we be targeting that you're not targeting? Where are you doing a good job? Where are you actually coming up? What content is trending up? What content is trending down on Google? So where are you gaining rankings? Where are you losing rankings? And then it handles everything for you. So for example, say you have a page on your website and the AI picks up on, hey, this page is starting to drop in rankings. It will go proactively refresh that page with new content for you. All you need to do is hit approve. What it will also do is recommend content based on what's trending. So if there's a hot topic in the US, or say it's tax season, for example, and there are a lot of tax searches happening, the agent will proactively create blog posts and content around those important topics that people are actually searching for, draft it for you with your firm's branding. All you need to hit is hit publish to the site. So the problem we were looking to solve with this agent is that there's a big templated content problem with our industry. If you go from firm to firm, you'll see the same blog posts on 5 different firm websites because they're all using the same legacy providers. The issue with this, and they won't admit this, is that if you have the same content on 2 different websites, those sites are never going to rank, especially are never going to rank for AI SEO because AI SEO is much smarter than Google's algorithm. So our SEO and our content agent Attract was built to solve exactly that problem and handle it completely for you. Perfect. And now we'll move into the last step. or the second to last step of the platform, which is convert. So convert is meant to solve the problem of how are we converting people that are actually visiting your site. So you did the work, you built up that audience, and you're driving people to the website now. Typically, around 98% of visitors that are hitting your site, and that's if it's a really good website, are not converting to a meeting or to a form fill. They're just bouncing off. What we're able to do with Convert is we're able to recognize up to 40% of the people that are visiting your website. And from there, we give you their contact information, their email, their LinkedIn, net worth, and income data. We tell you the pages that they were actually looking at on the site so you know what they were interested in. And then we help you make it super easy to reach out to them. So our AI will go and create email and LinkedIn messages personalized to each person, and you could send those straight from the platform all autonomously. The other thing you'll see on here is the offsite intent data. Won't get too much into the weeds on this today, but what this does is it basically tells you who's doing research across the United States on topics that are relevant to you. So, for example, if I want to do a search of people that in New York that are doing research on wealth management and tax planning, that might give me a couple 100,000 results. From there, I could weed it down so I could target my specific zip code. I could target people in a specific industry or net worth or income, and we could get those exact people that are doing research across the internet.
And what's incredibly powerful about that, before we go to the next slide, is for those of you who are running ads or thinking about running ads, you can export this data to create ads audiences on Google, Meta, LinkedIn, and target these people directly, whether they visited your website or they just happen to be online researching things related to what you help with. It makes your ad spend considerably more efficient and your conversion rates much higher because you're targeting people in motion, people who are researching you or researching the things that you do. So for those of you who also run ads, it's very powerful. Or I should say, you can use Wealth Reach to actually reach out to these folks over email and LinkedIn, completely personalized, no templates, no AI slop. It's dialed in, and it's also trained on SEC and FINRA rules, regs, guidelines, so it comes compliant ready already.
Yeah, that's a great point on the ads front, David. I think the other point to hit on there with ads is you get to target the people that are already doing that research, but you could also serve that person an ad based on exactly what they were researching. So now, instead of serving someone a generic ad that, hey, I'm a financial advisor, now I serve David an ad. He was doing research on tax planning. Hey, David, here's an ad for tax planning. Much more likely to convert. And you're seeing some of these big companies, especially as you guys are probably scrolling through Instagram or Facebook or whatever, you're getting ads that are targeting exactly what you're doing research. They're using data like ours.
Yes, very customized. They even have my name, like everything is right there. And that's the power of AI, right? And I
Yep.
also just want to point out the fact that Wealth Reach can capture visitors to your site that maybe never fill out a form and just leave or bounce off the website. That's also very powerful. It's another powerful AI use case here. And I think it's more important than ever to be able to capture this data. This is, again, nothing that's ever been able to be done before. But now with people using LLMs like ChatGPT or Claude or Perplexity or any of Gemini, they may not even ever make it to your website. Even if you've got the optimization and these tools are recommending you, they may just not make it to your site, right? There's a lot of we've seen a huge reduction in website clicks since all of these changes have been made to Google with now AI overviews instead of just a page of different websites for you to go diving into. AI overviews are now giving you that information. And so I think this is such a cool feature here, guys. And again, I'm a big fan of what you've been building here. And hopefully anyone on the call right now is also sort of feeling this energy right now around the possibility of the future and the reality of what we have today, thanks to AI. I cannot imagine what this is going to look like in 12 months from now, as this just moves so quickly. But what you've built is pretty solid. I think our next slide here, yeah, we have one more here. And then Mike, were you going to be able to hop into the tool as well and kind of just show everyone around?
Yes, I'll do a
Okay,
quick once over.
perfect.
David, do you want to hit on this slide and I'll get the demo pulled up?
Yep,
Cool.
I'll hit on this. So we've built a beautiful asset and website for you. We're driving traffic. We're identifying that traffic. Now, and Diana will come in how you increase the likelihood that they become a client when Diana goes in a bit. So once they're a client, how do we get those clients to multiply themselves? So we purchased the IP from an industry colleague, Dan Allison, who's been around the world for the last 22 years, sharing his referral methodology that's rooted in behavioral psychology. And just an anecdotal example, a company that we work with called Priscillium out of Pennsylvania. In 2024, they had 30 referrals. We started working with them. In 2025, they had 110 referrals. They went from 360 million to 700 million. The methodology works. But what he discovered through his years of research and partnership with Dimensional Fund Advisors is that 91% of clients are willing to refer. 51% think that they have, yet 29% actually make it to you. Okay. That in and of itself is a gap that's worth filling. The challenge with that is from a consultative perspective, we charge very high retainers to share this methodology, and it's not scalable. So in effect, what we've done is we created a lightweight LMS, learning management software inside of WealthReach, so you can get exposed to the methodology. We give you the scripts. Of course, you make them your own. There's little quizzes to make sure you retain the information. So we get you pulled in and bought in to how this process actually works. And it's not, and trust me, I grew up in the Northwestern Mutual system. When I said I was an advisor, I should have had finger quotes up. But so it's not, I get paid in two ways. It's not the best compliment you can give. It's none of that salesy oriented language. It's all rooted in behavioral psychology, garnering feedback from your clients, cross-educating them on the services, and simply communicating that, hey, just so you know, we have capacity to help more people. Obviously more complicated than that, but that's the trimmed down version. So we've taken all that, created a learning path for you, and then also you're able to status certain meetings and when you plan to implement the methodology. And then we take the transcript, analyze it right after, and give you a coaching card. So here's what you did well, here's what you need to finesse a little bit, and then here's what you drastically need to change. It will also spot opportunities for you and capture, oh yeah, I gave your name out to so-and-so. It'll capture that for you. So we basically taken the years of IP and research and implementation, digitized it for you. And then the last thing is we've taken thousands of hours of Dan's presentations, books, workshops, coaching calls, and create a knowledge base that you can chat back and forth with. So, hey, my client said this. How do I reply? How do I follow up with this? And you just chat back and forth with AI Dan, so to speak. So that is multiply to make sure that what you're sitting on right now, a book of business, you're able to harvest because your clients are already trying to be helpful to people. Those people aren't just aren't making it to you. This process helps close that gap.
This is such a good compliment to Jump as well, right? If you're using Jump in your prospect or client meetings, you can create scorecards. You can make sure it helps you stay accountable with the questions you're asking, or maybe forgetting to ask, and then, really giving you a score and a ranking based on how you did. We're going to also see a little bit of that in action today. So I think this is such a nice, point between our tools that makes sense, right? Like you're using AI to leverage, its capabilities to bring people to you, but then you're also leveraging the intelligence that comes out of that, and just, really good referral processes that you mentioned, David. So thank you for that. So Mike, you let me know whenever you're ready. I think you should just be able to just take over my screen share, but if you have any issues, let me know. We did have a question in the chat.
Yeah, I'll answer that. So Alex,
Okay.
I appreciate that question. So the question is, how does Snappy Kraken's websites rank when they go through the scoring? What I will say is I'm not going to put any particular company on blast directly. What I would encourage you to do is if you go to wealthreach.ai, you can run a free audit and we'll send it over to you. So if you have a website with a particular provider or just a website in general, that's frankly our call to action at the end. We're happy to run your specific audit, but I'm not going to generalize a particular company, today.
I think that's a great idea. We've got some friendlies in this space, but I encourage you to definitely take your website through the audit. And at the end of the session, we'll give you a way to do just that. Okay, so we've cleared that question. Thank you, David, for shining some light on that. And then, Mike, I opened up sharing, so you should be able to share.
Perfect. I'm sharing now.
Oh, great.
You guys see my screen? Perfect.
Yep.
So I'll start super quickly on the website front. So this is an example of my firm's website. As you could see, this is not templated. We build out completely custom websites for every single firm we work with. And we do it at that legacy firm pricing. So very low monthly cost to build these sites. Everything is completely unique to your firm. So you're never going to see like the same top bar from another firm. Everything is going to be 100% unique and custom to your firm and also speak to the clients that you want to serve. Um, just to give you some stats on this, so we just launched our website offering yesterday. Our United site has been live for a little over 40 days now. I mentioned earlier in the call that our old website you typically would get us like 4 to 5 meetings on a monthly basis. We are getting maybe 400 to 500 visitors on a monthly basis. Since we've launched this site, our average has been 1,200 over the last 40 days monthly visitors or a little bit over. And then we had in the past 30 days, it was 22 meetings booked with prospects. So massive jump from that 4 to 5. I don't know if that's going to continue, but I think it will because we're doing everything we need to do from an SEO standpoint. And it really is at the end of the day a proven methodology. It's just we're making it more accessible now. You don't need to go pay an SEO firm $5,000 to $10,000 a month.
And I will say, Mike, and I haven't talked to you about this yet, but I spoke with your dad today for coaching, and I said, "Hey, are you still getting meetings in after that initial blast?" He's like, "I'm averaging between 1 to 2 meetings scheduled on my calendar a day." So I want to emphasize something that Mike said. What we are not saying is you're going to get 20 appointments booked on your calendar because frankly, we were pleasantly surprised, emphasis on surprised at the traction that the website had. But what I can say is whatever your traffic is now, I feel the utmost confidence that it will improve.
Perfect. I'll pop over quickly to what our SEO and content agent looks like. I'm not going to run through a full demo here, but just show you guys things very quickly. So we could see basically every day an SEO audit runs on the site. It looks at how we're doing today, all of those things I talked about, basically doing the job of an SEO agency, something that they would charge you thousands of dollars a month for. We're doing that every single day, that audit. From there, it's recommending the content for you to create. So this is based on not only the services you provide, who your ideal clients are, it knows all of that, but also what's trending across the internet, what searches are trending, and what do we need to be targeting to rank for those things. From there, it's as easy as hitting start draft and it will draft it in real time for you. Or you could you could drag over several cards at once and they'll begin drafting in the background. From there, you could review it, edit it with the chatbot, and then you could launch it directly to the website. It gets built all in your branding. So this is an output of what it looks like. No tweaks were made to this. It gets built completely in your branding, and it has a ton of depth to it. We could see it's not just kind of thin AI generated slop. We pull in data from companies like Morningstar, a couple very large other data providers to pull in real financial data. And we also pull in all of that SEO data and AEO data to know exactly what to target. So these pages from the get-go are done completely with SEO best practices in mind. Let me just drag this over on my end. Sorry.
Is that my face in the way?
Yes, that's exactly what it is. Okay, there we go.
There's an art, guys, to hosting these virtual sessions. There's a lot of windows open, it's a lot going
Totally. Especially with a trackpad. I forgot my mouse today.
on. Yeah.
Um, I'll fly through this quick too, and we if you're interested, you can come book a demo with us. But
Okay.
this is the website visitors page. So this is telling us exactly who's visiting the website. What we're able to do is install an invisible pixel on the firm's website, and then from there we could recognize the exact people that are hitting it. Like I said before, we give you their name, their email, their contact information. We even pull in net worth and income data. If I click into somebody, we do a full research report on exactly who they are. We give you phone number. We even give you address, so you could mail them things. You can mail them postcards, notes, things like that. And we get this full research report on exactly who this person is. We pull in things like pain points they might be facing. We pull in things like talking points. So we could see this guy, Brad, for example. We saw he just celebrated his 20-year anniversary with the Long Island Ducks. Good thing to bring up before reaching out. We also show you exactly what they were looking at on the site here. So we could see Brad was on my site a couple different times over a couple different days. We could see the times he was on the site, and then we could see the pages he was looking at. So Brad hit my homepage a couple times, but he viewed my contact us page. When we see people hit that contact us page, and Diana, you brought this up before, if they hit that page and they don't fill out that form, they're much more likely to convert. From here, I could send them a quick one-off email from the platform, or we could drop them into a personalized sequence where we draft all of the messaging for them.
And
I'll pop- yeah,
real quick, as you're hopping to the next data source, Chuck Collins asked, all the automated content uploads sound great, but how do you work with the compliance pre-approval required by most independent firms that clear through BDs like Raymond James or LPL? Great question. So first and foremost, all of our content comes compliant ready. It goes through a scan in advance. It even rescans it if you make your own edits. And you really have two different options depending on your setup. So let's say you're an independent standalone RIA, you have a compliance officer who needs to approve it. We add a compliance seat so that they have access in a board of what's in their queue, what's being reviewed, what's approved, and then it can be published. So if you have a local compliance officer, they can do that. For companies like LPL, Raymond James, they tend to have their own compliance portal that you need to submit things through. So all you would need to do is export the page to a PDF, take that, and then put it through the proper compliance channels for approval.
perfect. Yeah, great
Super
point.
helpful.
This is our database. So I mentioned this briefly in the slides. We could prospect and find people by things like net worth, income, etc. We could look for people by city, state, zip code. We could prospect by people by the company they work at and find people at specific companies. But where we differentiate from pretty much anything else out there today is this intent data. So what I'm doing right now is I'm searching people across the United States that are doing research on wealth management in particular. We have a little over 1.2 million, or a lot over 1.2 million people. From there, I could add additional topics. So if I want to say, now I want to find people that are doing research on wealth management and tax planning. Now I'm down to 842,000 people. Still a lot of people. So then from here, I could filter down even further and say, okay, now I want to target people with 500,000 and up. Now I'm down to 148,000 people. We could also target down to city, state, zip, so you could filter this down as far as you'd like to. What you'll notice here as well is we have these signals. So we're able to see everything that they've been researching over the last 30 days, and you could see some of the other topics we have, and we could see exactly when they were looking at it. We could filter also, so I could find people who are doing the research yesterday, so we could get really dialed in with who we want to target. This score, what's important about the score is that we believe intent scoring needs to be on actually how strong that intent is. So we look at one, what were they actually researching and how relevant was it to the topic? And then two, how many times were they researching this over the last 30 days? So relevance plus what they were actually looking at.
Yeah. And then from there, and Diana, I know we want to make sure to save some time for your piece as well. So rather than showing it, um, what you can do is drop these folks into a persona, into a niche. So all of our AI behind the scenes has a lot of context as to the types of people you're reaching out to, a lot of context on your firm, and it drafts completely custom email and LinkedIn sequences for you, no templates whatsoever. Also, we manage all of the email infrastructure for you as well. So best practice is when you're doing cold emails, you do not want to use your main domain. Because if you burn it, you're going to end up in spam when you're corresponding with clients as well. So we spin up additional domains for you. We have options to hook up to things like Smarts or a compliance dedicated email. So everything's archived, trained on the SEC, FINRA rules, regs, guidelines, yada, yada, yada. But Diana, I know this is your webinar, but the floor is yours.
One
This
thing,
is
one
our
thing,
webinar.
one thing I want to add to feed into Diana here. So I've actually been a Jump client for over a year now. I think it's a year and a half almost. Or the family wealth management firm. So we were early on Jump, and one of the reasons why we love Jump and we've stuck with Jump, and I tell Diana this a bunch, is that they implement user feedback extremely fast. So I just love that we were able to email them with ideas and they would implement those ideas the next day sometimes. And it's something we've really tried to mirror at WealthReach. So I need to preface this with Jump is a great company to be working with for that reason. And then on top of that, Diana's going to talk about how this feeds in perfectly to us capturing those prospects. Now, how do you talk to them?
Thank you so much, Mike. I really appreciate you sharing your experience on Jump, and thanks for taking us through such a cool platform that you two have built. I'm a huge fan, and I just hope more advisors like begin to understand how important it is, what the work that you're doing, and how quickly they should probably be moving on updating their website with all the changes happening out of AI. So let's we're going to shift gears here. We're going to hop more into the meeting intelligence, and I will also show you a little bit of Jump today and some relevant features to all of this data here. But you've got the prospect on the meeting. Now what? And what I'm about to cover is really just two small parts of a larger playbook that we just released at Jump. And it's all focused on increasing the likelihood of moving that prospect to that second meeting from that initial first meeting that hopefully your website's helping you get booked, or any of the tools that you just saw if you're going to use WealthReach will also help you start getting booked. We are also going to have a webinar on this next month on June the 16th. We're working on getting it CE credit available from the CFP board. So stay tuned on that. We're going to go through the full playbook on that webinar. We'll do deeper coaching. So you're just getting a little glimpse today. I will also say, if you do use Jump or you have any product questions, feel free to ask them in the chat. We have Mitchell here from the Jump team. He's a product specialist, so he knows the product inside and out, and here to answer any of your questions. I'll also do my best to answer your questions. Okay, so moving along here, you've got the prospect, you've brought them into the meeting. Well, if you're using AI as your meeting assistant, as your note taker, and really as your full operating system, like advisors using Jump are using AI, then you're already ahead of your competition for many reasons, right? Jump has really 3 different products that we offer, but from a high level, if you're using Jump, you're recording the meeting, you're getting a transcript, and then you're doing a lot of useful things with that transcript. You're getting tasks that are automated into your CRM, workflows that are kickstarting, everything that's taking that admin off your plate so you can focus more on actually paying attention in your meeting. I think that's one thing just from all the advisor conversations that I have, and I interview a lot of advisors, is where, Jump and just AI in general has made such an impact for prospect meetings, is you really can be a lot more present in that meeting. You can listen more. You can catch things that maybe you couldn't catch before because you were busy writing. Or maybe you didn't catch something and now you have AI and this transcript and these insights to help remind you, hey, this prospect said they really wanted to be held more accountable, but you kind of forgot to bring that up in the rest of the meeting. Here's what I recommend, right? And so this is an actual example an advisor shared with me a couple of weeks ago on an interview. Grow is really where the insights come into play. Scorecards, playbooks, pulse, signals, we'll look at that. And then operate is really on the operational side of your business. Operations teams love operate as well. Anything from AI intake forms, document intelligence, email assistance. I bring this up because I think just the foundation of what Jump does and AI-powered operating system can do for financial advisors, again, is already putting you in, giving you a leg up over competition who's not using it. And there's still many advisors out there hosting prospect meetings who are not using these tools and maybe missing out on the opportunity to actually close some of those prospects based on what the tools can do for you. Yes, to take off admin work, but more importantly, and what I want to focus on is really to optimize advisor EQ and the human side of the relationship. Jump integrates with pretty much anything and everyone in this space. So just know that I put a few logos here on the screen for you. But really what I want to get into now is like, when I say advisor EQ, what am I really talking about? And when we put out these reports and these insights at Jump, what are we really focusing on? Well, when we measure advisor EQ, we actually have an advisor emotional intelligence scoring system. We use 4 inputs. Talk time as a share of total dialogue, how much you're talking versus your clients, you versus your prospects, right? And there's a sweet spot number there that really the ratio that you want to achieve. And we covered that on our last webinar. I'll be brief with it. Anywhere usually beyond 3/4 of the meeting, you should not be talking, right? You should leave that room for your clients. But with a prospect, it's usually around 85%. You don't want to talk more than 85% of the meeting. We know you're asking a lot of questions on prospect meetings. That's natural. Number of open-ended questions asked, number of empathetic statements made, and number of emotional check-ins performed. So these are things that we're measuring. This is also what our technology can pick up for you and surface back in those insights. Okay, so what are, from our playbook, the 2 behaviors that increase the likelihood of a second meeting? There's also 2 behaviors that decrease the likelihood of a second meeting, but we won't have time to cover that today. And again, we'll cover that in our webinar in June. We hope to see you there. Okay, first is stating clear, specific next steps. So what we found in the data is that about 17% more of prospect meetings are going to be moved into that second meeting if you as the advisor simply state clear next steps. This might seem really fundamental, but you'd be surprised based on the conversational intelligence that we gather at Jump and the trends across our platform and the thousands of meetings that take place on our platform every single day. This is actually missed a lot of the time. So when you think about stating clear, specific next steps, most advisors might say something like, hey, well, we'll follow up with you. Or let's talk sometime next week. I'll give you some time to chew on this. And you might think that that's a good approach. You might think, hey, I don't want to overwhelm them. We covered a lot today. But what we've actually found is that the more specific you get, the better. So when you say on our next follow-up, we're going to do exactly this, like what would happen, what they can expect, the timing, the scope, you will increase your chances. I'll give you an example here. So instead of saying, let's talk again next week sometime after you've had time to review the materials that I'll send you, you could say something like, I'll send you a summary of everything we discussed by next Friday or this Friday. And then let's meet on next Tuesday to walk through all of the next steps that we have here in place. So like really just giving them that big picture. This is so much better than being vague. And again, what we've seen in the data is that your chances of getting that prospect to that next meeting are about 17% higher when you do this. Okay, so the second tactic is offering a general financial review. I love when Zoom does that. Offering a general financial review. So what I mean by this is when you meet with the prospect, usually in that first meeting, you're just doing some discovery, some general discovery, but you probably don't have enough information to really sit them down for a full hour and go through their unique situation. So what I've seen in the past worked well for advisors is that first meeting is probably more like a quick 20 to 30 minute meeting. And there's so many different ways you can position that. That's not today's webinar purpose, but I do have some videos on my YouTube about that. But from there, that second meeting is where you really want to go deeper with them. So as you can see here on the screen, when advisors offer to conduct a broad review and explicitly frame it as this exploratory step that doesn't require a commitment, you increase your chances of getting that prospect to that second meeting by 13%. And I have another kind of example here. It's a little bit of coaching, although we're not going to make this interactive today. So I can take a look at your overall picture first. No commitment required. This is a fundamentally different offer than saying something like, let me show you what we can do for you on our next meeting, right? You're actually, when you say something like that, let me show you what we can do for you, you might think it sounds good, but really what it's doing is it's kind of putting the focus on you as the advisor versus back on the client, right? Hey, I want to give you a full overview of your financial picture right now. And here's how we'll be able to make that happen. Here's exactly when we'll schedule it. And here's exactly what's going to happen, right? So I just kind of combined these two strategies in this one example here. Okay, so I'm actually going to show you too on this next, or actually I'm going to change my screen share, but I did want to put this slide in here because I love it, what it says on the right side from David. This is to me, this is a good summary of what we've talked about, right? Jump ups my game. When I approach a meeting now, I approach it differently. Quite frankly, it makes me a better advisor. It allows you to engage with a client or a prospect in this case at a much higher level. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share with you, I'm going to open up the Jump platform. Okay, can everyone see that? Or am I
still on your slides?
All right, we're going to try this again. Give me a quick second. Told you this is an art here. All right, now you should be seeing the Jump platform.
Yep, okay. We got it.
So I'm logged into a demo account here. And when you log into Jump, like you have a lot of different navigation, but it's all very simple, right? On the left, you've got meetings, you've got your contacts, any documents, forms. Insights is really where I love to play. But with meetings, you can see everything that's been transcribed from AI or that hasn't, that needs action, tasks, follow-ups. You can grab your transcript. You can go back to any point of a meeting. You can even ask our AI assistant what exactly happened in a specific meeting if you have a question. But more importantly, I love the Insights tab because this is where we have the scorecards that you can create so that every prospect meeting, you're measuring yourself, and really Jump is helping you measure your behavior, the questions you asked or didn't ask. The playbooks, which we covered a little bit today, pulse, signals, and flash surveys. I won't have time to go through all of this, but just on the dashboard alone, if I've had some meetings in Jump, I'm going to be able to see here, what were some trending objections? What were some of the top topics mentioned over this specific time period? You could even narrow this down by advisor, or like if you're in a multi-advisor firm, you can see how all of your advisors are doing aggregately across the board, or again, one by one. Referral capture. So David, you were kind of talking about this earlier, right? This is all built into Jump and really connected into your meeting conversations. From there, if I go to scorecards, I can see all of my different criteria here for scorecards, but I can really hone in, and it's giving us a score and everything is clearly explained here. So in this meeting, how did I stack up against my EQ skills scorecard, my Q&A scorecard, my prospecting scorecard, whatever it is that you're curious about there. And this is where there's customization inside of Jump and where we can help you build this customization. So I'm going to stop it here. Again, this was just meant to be really short and sweet demo for those of you who might not be using Jump. Let's see here if it's going to let me, but I will pull this up. Here we go. For next steps, for any of you that do want to book a one-on-one demo with Jump, you can scan the QR code here. We'll go much deeper with you than I just did today. We'll also show you where you can find all of our playbooks, our reports, if you want to brush up on some EQ skills, our webinars, all that will be available to you. But this is the right link to book your one-on-one demo. If you're not ready for a one-on-one demo, I totally understand. Everyone's at a different starting point here. Also, too, Mitchell, if you actually, we'll keep that for the end. If you don't want to book a one-on-one demo, you can start your free trial. I highly encourage this as well. If you just want to play around, have it sit in a couple of meetings, look into some of the different features, See if it's the right tool for you. You can scan this QR code to start your free 14-day trial. And then Mike and David, I know we have something in here for folks who want to learn more about WealthReach, but really get more into that website audit. Anything you want to share here?
Yeah, it's super quick. So you could just scan this. It'll ask you to input your website, and then it will pull up a booking form. A member of our team that is an expert on SEO, so they're deeply, deeply trained on all of the technical stuff behind your site. They'll walk you through your audit. It takes 10 to 15 minutes max. No pressure, no sales conversation there. If you want us to help you fix it, we're happy to, but we're also happy to give you the free report. So that's it.
Yeah, and I just want to say thank you to everyone joining, and we'd love an opportunity to help you help more people, but also a big thanks to Diana and the team over at Jump. So appreciate you having us. And I do see for WealthReach guys, does your attract and convert pricing stack? Yeah, so we have pricing separate for each tool, and then bundled pricing as well. And we have a pricing section on our website, so you're welcome to check that out as well.
Amazing. And even though the chat is disabled, I believe we can add links into the chat box that everyone will be able to access. So I'm going to go ahead and do our one-on-one demo of Jump link if you're interested. Some of you may not want to scan a QR code, and it's obviously not on the screen at this point, but there's a link for you in the chat box. David, Mike, feel free to drop a link to this website audit. There we go. Perfect.
So that's only, Diana, if you can copy and paste that for me. I only have the ability to message host and panelists.
Yeah, you got it.
And you can use the link that Mike just sent.
Perfect. All right, I'm going to drop that in the chat. So folks, we didn't have a lot of questions come in real time. So whenever that happens, my indication is there's a lot of really good content. You're absorbing it all, and you may not have a lot of questions. But I'm free to stay for a couple more minutes. David and Mike, if anyone does have any final questions for us, really anything is open at this point if you want to ask. And let's see. Okay, there is the WealthReach link. Everyone should be able to click on that in the chat box.
Well, we're waiting to see if any questions. I got to say thank you so much, Diana, and thank you to the Jump team. This was fantastic. So appreciate you all.
Absolutely. Thank you guys. And, this is really just V1, right? I mean, you guys just launched this publicly. Congratulations. You've been working behind the scenes for quite a while now on it. Kind of going through the transformation of AI along the way and being able to build something even better, which is just so cool. So V1 of even just our relationship, right? Like, I think there's a lot of really interesting, cool ways that we could look at how our tools could integrate in the future. And as Mike said, we are pretty responsive when it comes to product feedback. So if you have any ideas or anything popped up, feel free to share it with our team at any time. We do have a comment. Thanks. Great info. Well, thank you for being here. And with that, I don't think we have any specific questions. You've got some links. You've got some next steps in the chat box. Feel free to meet with our team. We look forward to hearing from you. David, Mike, thank you so much again. And everyone, hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you,
guys. See ya.
Bye-bye.